I'll say that the election has been peaceful in Ejisu. So from the Pentecost polling station here in Fumeswa, one of the densely populated areas in the Ejisu constituency, we are moving to other places to monitor the elections and bring you update as far as the Ejisu by-election is concerned. Don't forget that over 100,000 electors are expected to cast their ballot today, and the EC expect nothing less than 50% in today's elections being the turnout for today's election. So coincidentally, today is also a market day in Ejisu. So the EC hopes that many of the market women who are in the market will turn up later in the day to cast their ballot. So Aisha, that has been the situation from the Ejisu constituency.
Right, Nano Himinteria with that for us. Let's also Evan. So that was the live interview on Joy News when this was captured, and you may see that is circulating on social media. I've been joined by Evans Mensah, who is head of political desk here at Joy News. Evans, this is very interesting. A stronghold of the NPP. And in fact, the NDC is actually not participating in this, and we're seeing all of this.
Yes, so as it is now, on the face of it, the MP for Kwadaso is seen putting the envelope on the table.
Yep.
You don't see the officers immediately taking it. The EC in his statement described it accurately, which is that you see this individual putting the envelope on the table and then he leaves.
Yep.
Of course, they've taken swift action, which is suspend them,
withdraw them
immediately, and investigate, which is what they must do, because there's obviously will cast a doubt over the elections and make it a bit suspicious, right? It can be the basis for rejecting the entire results, right? Anybody can go to court if it's proving and file a case in court. And that's why the EC has taken this action immediately. The key question then becomes, if you're investigating this, that particular polling station, what do you do with the ballots that have already been cast? That, for me, is the challenge that the EC is going to face now. Odiomi's people, they haven't seen it. We just heard him say to us live a short while ago, he's not seen it, he can't speak to it because he hasn't seen it. But the EC has seen it, and they've taken action. The fact that they've withdrawn the officers is, of course, the right thing to do. And they are investigating. They must quickly tell us what the outcome of the investigations are. But how do you do that without pausing and examining what had gone into the box, right? And that, for me, is a key thing. We need to watch how that plays out, especially from the side of Odiomi, how they approach this and the petitions that they may file and what they may demand. But you made a point about this is a stronghold of the MPP, and it is a stronghold of the MPP. It is just the Odiomi factor. And you see him there removing what appears to be an envelope from his back pocket. He attempts to give it to them. They don't seem to quite catch his eye, and then he drops it on the table. He looks around and leaves. We must say, after this, he grants an interview, I believe, to us, in which he tells us that they will do anything to win the elections.
To win the elections.
This is under investigations, and so you can form your own opinion about this as you will. But it is a stronghold, but Odiomi is making this a bit more complex, and is throwing a challenge to the MPP in a way that they haven't seen before. Except that there is history coming from the Ashanti region that the MPP is paying attention to. And the reason why they deployed all their big guns, they sent in there the president, the vice president was there, everybody who mattered in the MPP was there over the weekend to campaign. And we've seen all the aggression that they're showing on the ground, because you go to the recent memory of Fomena, it's fresh on your minds. Somebody who was a staunch member of the party, devout, committed member, decides to go independent because he's aggrieved, contests against the MPP's chosen candidate and wins in the 2020 elections. He's the only reason why MPP is able to do any proper business in the parliament right now. So they know that history. And then you go to Bekwai, where Joe Sowusu, same, also had grievances with the party, decides to go independent, wins, again goes to parliament and returns to the party and does business with them. And we're having a similar case here. Again, an individual who has shown formidable wits when it comes to contest and electoral victory as a member of parliament, fought the MPP for 3 terms, still holds a record when it comes to the percentage of votes secured for Ejisu, right? So you cannot ignore him. And that is why the MPP is taking this absolutely seriously, and they must. Because if they lose this tonight, they instantly become the minority in parliament. So this high stakes tonight, high stakes, and that's why we're seeing, and normally in high stakes elections, you see this play out.
We have Ohiming Teria, where, I mean, he was the one doing the live report when all of this happened. He's joining us right now. Ohiming Teria, you've been speaking with EC officials in that constituency. I mean, what have you gathered?
Earlier, I spoke to Dr. Sribokwe, Director of Elections at EC, and he was very particular about turnout in today's elections. He says that he is hopeful that over 50% of turnout will be registered here. But as far as the issue of the two EC officials allegedly collecting an envelope from an individual, they are yet to speak to me. I spoke to an official who also directed me to speak to another senior official for him to give me official information on this. But to the best of my knowledge, both the regional officials of EC and national officials have been to the Pentecost polling station at Fumeswa to meet the two EC officials, and also as part of the investigations, get preliminary information from them. And that is what informed their decision, perhaps, to call for suspension of the two officials. So I'll say that here in Ejisu, it's being talk of the town. People are discussing this as why a senior member of the ruling MPP will go to a polling station and try to offer something in an envelope to EC officials in the full glare of the public, when even the media is also present. So it's gaining some sort of discussion here in Ejisu. Behind me is the Roman Catholic police station in Ejisu township proper, and a couple of journalists and few EC officials I've seen here are all discussing the issue, and they think that this could go a long way to one way or the other affect the credibility of today's polls, Aisha.
So, Ohiming Teria, you spoke with this MP, the said member of parliament, who actually offered the envelope earlier before he went in to do it. What did he tell you?
Aisha, actually, the interview was after he has allegedly dropped the envelope.
Okay, that was after the incident.
Yes, if you saw me in the video, he was actually behind me because the polling officials are stationed behind me, because I was not allowed to do the interview within the inner perimeter of the voting center. I was just in front or ahead of the voting center. So after this, I spoke to him. I didn't know that he actually dropped something for the EC officials. It was after the live program that people sent me videos alerting me of what the man was doing behind me. Unknown to me, I spoke to him immediately after the live program with you, the live interview with you. And he did indicate that this particular election is very crucial to the New Patriotic Party, especially at the time that there's there's split of members in parliament, taking into consideration MPP gaining some support from independent candidates before they are able to form majority in parliament, and that they will do everything possible. We should underline the word everything possible to win this election. Those were his words, that the MPP will do everything possible to win today's by-election. And people have started reading meanings into this, especially myself, and then the cameraman was like, if we knew he had dropped this envelope, then definitely we would have asked further questions to understand what this everything possible means. But in the interview, I quizzed him further to understand what this everything possible means. And he says MPP will use fair means to win today's by-election.
Let's listen to what he told you in that interview.
We have Dr. Kingsley Nyarko here, MP for Kwadaso. And it's good to see you in the Ejisu constituency, though this is not your parent constituency. What is at stake for your party as far as this by-election is concerned?
Okay, so, Ejisu is a traditional new patriotic party seat. And this constituency has produced some great MPs who were also ministers, like Honorable Kwadaso Oseiche, who became Foreign Affairs Minister, our own brother and very good friend, John Kuba, who was Deputy Finance Minister, who passed on recently. So it is a seat that means a lot to us in terms of the political dynamics within the region and the country. We've lost a very good friend and brother, very hardworking and diligent, somebody who had Ejisu, on his heart. I know the passion he had for the constituency is no more, and I think that we need to fight to get a suitable replacement for him, and that person is the one who is representing the new political party, lawyer Kwadaso. And we know, the numbers in Parliament aren't good. We can't afford to lose this seat. So we are doing everything possible to ensure that we win the seat to even honor the memory of our late brother. I don't think he'll be happy in his grave if we lose the seat to any other person other than we retaining the seat. So if you saw me here today, that's the reason. And going around, I've seen that the electorates, the constituents, they are willing to, vote massively for Kwadaso, who is number 2 on the ballot.
You said you're doing everything possible to win this seat. When you say everything possible, what exactly does this contain in the everything possible that you're doing?
We are being diligent. We are working so hard. I've been in Ejisu for about 5 days or so. Working so hard to make sure that we win the seat. But don't forget that the opponent was once a member of the party and had been MP for 12 years. So he has footprints here. Okay, so it's not a case play. So that's why I'm saying that we are doing everything possible. We are being diligent. We are working hard, to ensure that we retain the seat. So yeah, that's what I'm meant by saying that we'll do everything possible within every appropriate means.
But surprisingly, you mentioned the opponent. Meanwhile, there are 6 people on the ballot who are contesting the elections today. So why do you single the former MP out as the only opponent when there are other 5 or 4 people involved?
I place my statement within the context. I said that he used to be a member of our party. He's no more. He used to be member of parliament for this whole constituency for 3 times 12 years. And you cannot assume that he doesn't have footprints here. Obviously, he will have. So we are not going to treat this election as any election. What we know is that we are doing everything possible